All right, today we're talking about a search engine you've probably never used, but one that sees almost everything on the internet. It's called Shodan, and, well, it's probably going to change how you think about being online. Seriously, think about it for a second. Chances are you're picturing websites, your social media feeds, maybe Netflix, but that entire world that you see in your head, that's just the tip of the iceberg. A tiny visible slice of something much, much bigger. So here's how it breaks down. On one side, you've got the web, the internet we all know and use every day. But on the other side is this invisible layer. We're talking about actual physical things. Power plants, the smart fridge in your kitchen, even your own phone. They're all connected directly to the internet. And that is what we mean when we say the internet of everything.
Okay, so here's the plan. First, we're going to pull back the curtain on the World Wide Web. Then we'll introduce you to Shodan, the key that unlocks this hidden world. We'll look at who's using all this data and why. And finally, we'll bring it back to you and ask, what is your digital shadow?
So let's dive right in. What does it really mean to go beyond the web and find this hidden layer of physical devices? And this is really the core idea you have to get. Our understanding of the internet is just completely lopsided. You know, a search engine like Google is absolutely fantastic for mapping websites, but it's basically blind to the billions of physical devices that are also plugged in and online. So if the search engines we use every day can't see these things, then what can? See, the problem needs a totally different kind of tool, a different way of looking, and that is exactly where Shodan comes into play. To put it as simply as possible, Shodan is the world's first search engine built to do one thing and one thing only: find devices connected to the internet, not websites. It's a different kind of map for a different kind of internet. And you know, that isn't just some marketing slogan. It's literally the perfect way to describe what it does. It lets you search for the actual things that make up the Internet of Things. So the big question is, how does it pull this off? How in the world does it actually map this enormous invisible landscape of connected devices? Well, it's a huge operation, but you can think of it in 3 steps. First, Shodan's crawlers are constantly scanning the entire internet, 24/7. But they're not looking for web pages. They're looking for what you could call a digital handshake, these little bits of data called service banners that devices send out to say, hey, I'm here. It scoops up all that data, indexes it, and what you get is this unbelievable searchable map of physical stuff.
And the things it finds, it's just wild. We're talking everything from massive industrial control systems for power plants, all the way down to smart refrigerators, our phones, and, yep, even publicly accessible Minecraft servers. I mean, if it's connected to the internet, Shodan is probably trying to find. Now, as you can imagine, being able to see all this stuff creates some incredibly valuable information. So who's actually using this internet intelligence, and what are they using it for? So let's talk about the users. This is not some tiny niche tool. The scale here is pretty staggering. We're talking about more than 3 million registered users from all over the globe. And check this out. Among those millions of users are nearly 90% of the Fortune 100. Let that sink in for a second. The world's biggest and most powerful companies are relying on Shodan's data. That right there tells you how absolutely critical this kind of visibility has become. And it's not just giant corporations. The user base is so diverse. You've got the top cloud providers using it to secure their infrastructure. You have major universities using it for academic research. It's really become an essential resource for tech, business, and academia. So what's everybody doing with it? Well, enterprises use it to monitor their own security, to find devices on their network that they didn't even know were exposed to the internet. Developers, they tap into the data to build brand new tools on top of it. And for researchers and analysts, it's an absolute goldmine for tracking global tech trends as they happen. Which brings us right back to you. We've been talking about massive companies and global networks, but what does this hidden internet, this world full of connected things, actually mean for your daily life? You see, every single smart device we add to our lives, in our homes, in our cars, even in our cities, it casts a digital shadow. And what a tool like Shodan proves is that this shadow, it isn't invisible anymore. So the question I want to leave you with is this. As our world gets smarter,
What parts of your life are now searchable on the Internet of Everything? And what does that mean for the rest of us?